powered.
I like the alt-right stuff because it makes me POC now, and it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I've had to be white my whole life, and now I'm POC again.
Yeah.
I felt POC.
Dude, that identity politics bullshit to fucking. Dude, of course, that's gonna happen if your dumbass decides that racism. This is because they try to put Marxism into everywhere but where it should be, which is like healthcare. They try to make it into every other thing. They like, well, we'll never get healthcare, so let's just try to commie up every other interaction. So that new racism bullshit of where everyone, it's your identity, and we want don't look at me as me. Think of who my color.
Well, I don't.
It's not Marxist. It's not Marxist.
That's what critical race theory explicitly is.
No, I don't.
In their own words of Derek Bell and the people in it, it's a Marxist framework, which is why it's so collective. So that's why you can't. I mean, I had people arguing with me of like, telling me I was appropriating something. I can't remember who was accused. Some feminist that messaged me when that whole shit happened to me, and I was like, yeah, well, you know, I don't know all your terms and shit. I mean, like I mean well with whatever I'm saying. She's like, typical white male. Intentions matter more than word. And I'm like, I don't do that shit. I'm not. And everything was, typical white male. Like, no, I'm not typical, bitch. Because I'll tell you why. You and your friends felt you had to destroy me.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Facebook doing it. So clearly I'm a snowflake. Why do you think that I'm going to be part of this shit where I get lumped in a group because you want to do your little group?
Yeah.
And they chose that.
The funniest thing I saw during the election, there was like a comic somebody shared, and it's a picture of like, you know, like it's shittily drawn, which makes it even better. It's like an MS Paint comic, and it's a guy, and he's got like a sort of like an ISIS beard almost, and like a shirt that says, "This is what a feminist look like." You know, piercings. His arms are crossed, and he's like, "It's not my job to educate you." It's like you're asking questions, which is what white men do. Therefore, they're bad. You know, it's like I'm not enacting the emotional labor. And then on the other side of the comic, there's a guy with like a shittily drawn swastika that's like fucked up, and he's like saluting Hitler, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'd love to talk to you about white nationalism. Answer any questions you want. Let me show you all this data on haplogroups." You know,
well, because their strategy.
Yeah.
See, the whole thing, they're so stupid.
They like to proselytize for sure.
Right. I used to compare them to a religion, the fucking social justice people, but the difference is a religion likes to tell you their beliefs.
Oh no, I feel like the alt-right people are like a religion.
They like to tell you their beliefs.
They're like
more
the
like
Mormons.
The lefties are worse because they're fucking. It's like a religion, but you're supposed to have already known their teachings and been a member, or else go kill yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not on them. First of all, they're like, these are the new rules. Here's all these made up bullshit things I made, and you're supposed to have already known them. Like you're imposing on me to ask.
Yeah.
And they maybe should have waited till 2040 when they were all spiking the football about that, you know, when it's going to be not
That's
white.
the year Hari becomes funny.
The year, the year. That's what the fuck that album means.
Yeah. The year my jokes hit.
But that it's like all the judgment and bullshit of a church, but none of the forgiveness or love of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like these chicks should find Jesus, because that's really these are people that hate themselves, that want to inflict on everybody. That's always what it is with that.
Yeah.
And especially the racist shit. This was a plot. This is a plan, because I really read critical race theory, like all their college papers and shit. I try, because people just, racism institutional, it's not individual. And I'm like, okay, what are you basing that on? Well, that's what it says in the, okay, but what is that? Like, what's the evidence of that I have to believe this, other than you like it better?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to find an answer to that.
Yeah.
And then I read these papers. The only this is it in a nutshell. It's just they could consider it a useful tool for anti-racism movement. It's like basically it's like we're just going to shame white people into not being racist.
Yeah.
And it's such not understanding how that works.
Well, that probably does work on a personal level. It doesn't work as far as elections go.
No, it works
obviously.
on liberals who have that S&M thing of like, yes, I'm white, hit me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work on these people who already hate themselves and they feel less than already. And for you to talk down to them, they're racist out of self-hatred.
Yeah.
So you can't shame them. All you're doing is making them prouder of their fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go about it. You actually do have to try to reason with people and talk to them. I love calling conservatives stupid, but I don't try to suppress them from talking.
Yeah.
And all that and that's the whole TV and all that, like, that one eyebrow raised, little condescending, shitty liberal nerd thing. Everybody got real sick of that. and that's why they wanted this guy who's going to hang
But
on
don't
their
you
underwear.
think that it was like more about
Well-
like she was like some girl that did all her homework and like asked if there was like this was going to be on the test and
Well, she
sat
didn't
in the
do all her
front
home-
row.
Well, that's
And,
certainly that
She's like
personality.
just
I'll
an
tell you,
annoying.
But
she's
there's
just
also the fact that she sucks for real on every level.
It's like the movie Election.
Here's
right?
why she didn't win.
You
It's
seen
the
that
Tracy
movie
Flick
Election
thing for sure.
Tracy Flick for sure. No one likes like the fucking
Right.
try hard.
Well,
like,
that's why you don't run.
especially
Right.
women.
No one's ever elected
right?
her to anything. Number one, except in New York, they elected her senator because
Yeah.
if you love her, it's because you love that a certain type of person hates her. The end.
And
you-
Trump appealed to enough people effectively.
Yeah, well, you could
like-
say the
Well,
same
what's
thing.
the
You could say the
difference between
same
I'm
thing
with her-
about Trump. You could say the same exact thing
What?
about Trump. Is that people like him because
That's
other
right.
people hate him.
So that was already a
and
thing.
there, there's all this like analysis about whether it was racism was a motivating factor, and a lot of people say no, it wasn't that. Is it because there was too much emphasis on
Well,
identity
definitely some of
politics?
that, for sure.
or ignoring the yeah, sure. It's a lot of things, but when you talk to the average Trump voter, because I have family that voted for Trump, the family that ratted me out to the FBI, by the way,
As they should have.
and they just go, I just like him. They just say, I just think he's great.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
put any more thought into it than that. That's
well,
it.
they are, but they don't want to tell you. They don't. First of all, Republicans hate politics.
Yeah.
Hillary's thing of "I'm with her"
Yeah.
was so stupid because that's not how these people want their fucking government to be. I'm with her.
Mm.
Trump, when he would give a speech, he's like, he made fun of that. He's like, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Trump's a blank for them to project all their bullshit onto.
Yeah.
And Hillary, but like, and that's how lefties always want like a lead. They always want like a Castro leader. Okay. It's always, I don't know why the yin and yang is like, they want cops to be their employee. Like, shut up, cops, you're my employee. And they want government to be like their Obama, I have leadership and hope. And then Republicans are the opposite. They treat cops like they're fucking you're not to even question a cop.
Yeah.
The politicians are beneath them and are an employee. That's why they'd want a guy like Trump over someone like Hillary.
Yeah.
They don't like that shit because they're deathly afraid of any kind of this is how it's going to be government.
Yeah.
Where they don't get a say. They're terrified of that. And Hillary just oozed that. And these fucking liberals seem to. I mean, I remember when I went to go see Borat in the theater a long time ago in Brooklyn.
Great movie, by the way. Shout out Borat. It's been
This kid had a
absolutely
fucking.
ruined by.
He looked like Adam had a shirt that said "Jon Stewart is God" on it.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
But it said Jon Stewart is gay.
no God.
Oh.
Which he clearly made himself.
Yeah.
And it just like, that whole fucking that just repulses them to no end. The entire middle of the country and every other, whoever voted for Trump hates that. Plus
Yeah.
the hypocrisy of. It's not just Hillary. First of all, she was so qualified. Why was she qualified?
Well, that's what I'm not prepared for is the fucking hubris of comedy at large, where they think that like, well, Trump got elected, now it's time for the comedians
problem,
to fix this.
is
And
that
it's
the-
like, shut the fuck
No, that
up,
was the
dude.
problem the whole time. Is
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
thought
yeah.
the comedians were supposed
But
to be
no,
president.
man.
Yeah.
During the worst part of the Bush years, like 2006, 2007, during the insurgency, Jon Stewart was great. That show was great. It was,
Right.
and I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean that. Just as a piece of comedy programming, it was a great show.
Right.
And I don't think anything's gonna come
Well, the
close
correspondents were better too then.
to that. Yeah.
That's when you had like Carell and fucking.
But that was like John's show, and that was
Right.
the peak of that show, and there's no way to get back to that.
It's a really
place.
hard job
Yeah.
to do that every night.
Of course, it was a
Yeah.
fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
and that's we have these like great things that happen in entertainment. It would be like if Mozart died and they're like, we got a black guy to replace him.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking up the piano.